Hey, I've been developing this suite of plugins for WordPress as part of the WP Elevator suite of tools for enterprise and WordPress users in general. One of the cool things that I've built as part of it is a monorepo of all these plugins. I'm now adding a new plugin to that monorepo, which is for the single sign-on using the native WordPress. So imagine you have a WordPress multi-site such as this. You're logged into one of the sites. You want to navigate to another one, which is on a different domain. You're no longer logged in, right? Although you have permissions and credentials to this site, you would have to retype them or have the autocomplete fill them out for you, which is tedious and not cool. We have this solution with the native SSO, which is the native single sign-on. You click the button, you're automatically logged into this other site. So I'm now publishing a new version of this plugin, and it's going to go into its own release repository. I have a monorepo that has all of the plugins under the packages directory. So let's look at here. We have plugins. All of them live here. So I have centralized management, all the linting, tooling, unit tests, everything. And then the deploy happens to this a release repository strictly for tagging, for distribution to different to packages, to anything really. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you that workflow, that simple, cool workflow that I have for this. It is part of a GitHub action, and it's called tagger release. So all I have to do is select the main branch as the source. Then I have to select plugins native SSO. So that's the package that I'm releasing. And then I have to specify the version. Essentially what it's going to do is create a local tag on this monorepo. And also then, because the new tag has been created, it's going to trigger another action, which then takes a subtree of that monorepo, that's a Git concept, and pushes it out, all the changes, including basically you have the full changelog of everything that happened in that directory pushed out to that release repo. And while it does that, I'm going to show you the checks that it runs every time it does that. As you will see here, it is a GitHub workflow that is called tag release. And it is something that works or is triggered by a dispatch, right? So that's where we specify the package names. These actually match to the directories where those packages live, so that simplifies things. And then what we're doing is we're running this custom release tag package for the following input, which is the package directory and then the version string that I specified in that free form field. And then we're going to look at the script, what it does behind the scenes. But then at the end of the day, it sets up the credentials of the same user that did this, the trigger. And then it creates a release on this repo, which in turn will create another tag on there. Let's look at the package.json actually, which is where we're triggering this from. So this is the release tag package. So you see it's an NPM. We're using it as a canonical task runner. But behind the scenes, it's actually running within the CLI container. So it's a Docker container. It's running composer release tag package. So what is composer tag package? Composer tag package under the scripts here in the composer.json file is this. So it's PHP tools release tag package.php. Again, a simple PHP script, nothing really complicated. As you can see here, it is parsing that input. So it's splitting on the first / to designate or split up the version from the actual package that we're attempting to deploy. We have a list of canonical packages defined that we support, and then it does all the magic of finding the package, verifying that it has the correct version. So we have a library, a class essentially here, that knows how to extract a version from a plugin. It scans all the PHP files, it looks at the plugin header and sees if it matches what I've specified in the dropdown. And if that's the case, then it does a git tag following the conventions that we have. And then based on it also generates a release log. So if we're gonna go into the action here, we'll see that one that triggered this has completed. And now we have a new tag as well, which is plugin / native SSO 0.0.1. And if we go there, we're going to see that it also has a matching release. So if we come here, So it has this one here. It has generated, basically it also states us where the release is. So we see this is now the release repo where it has pushed the code. It has generated a changelog based on whatever changes were committed to this directory, right? So it does not care about anything that happened outside of that directory. I find it pretty cool. It allows me to really quickly iterate on any kind of changes to any of the plugins. I can also do batch updates to things, right? So script is smart enough that if you do a single merge, but you've touched multiple directories, it can also deploy multiple packages, that is. It can deploy all of them one by one and account for the version changes in either of them. So that's pretty cool. I find it very useful. I'm going to be, this is partially being documented already on the WP Elevator site. So you can check that out, and I'll keep you posted on more information about that.